I mean, we knew coming in as we made our way here, I mean, what kind of effort and toughness was going to be needed tonight in order to win, and really challenged the guys last night at practice. Wanted to make them kind of feel with, kind of coach induced of the type of pressure that they were going to feel and the type of toughness that they were going to feel from Fresno State, a team that's only lost one game at home. That was to Boise State in overtime. Team that's, right now on the road. I mean, that's a quad one win. But a team, when I watch them on film, I have as much respect for Coach Hudson, that group, as anybody, in terms of how hard they play, the grit they play with, the toughness they play with. And we knew that we had to meet that face on. And if we didn't, we had no chance of winning. And so for our guys to they got really challenged last night, and especially some of the role guys, knowing that there's going to be a time and place where, maybe Graham Ike, like tonight, and gets in foul trouble. And I needed Hunter Thompson to step up and play a big role when that opportunity came. And I thought maybe we had some guys starting to feel maybe a little sorry for themselves, and that's not what we're about. And so I don't shy away from confrontation. I don't shy away from things that I don't feel like can help you win games. And we got to have everybody on board, and for all our guys to really step up and take the challenge that I gave them last night, knowing that if you didn't come in here and have your best effort, and if you didn't have a Cowboy toughness to you, that you were going to be in for a rude awakening. And I thought you saw that toughness on the defensive end, in terms of holding them to, I think, 39% for the game, but then too, a team that's elite rebounding wise, for us to come in here on their home court, out rebound them by 18, to have 14 offensive rebounds. And as I told the guys, we don't need more plays. We got to be, as February comes around and teams start having excuses, teams start feeling tired. Guys don't want to necessarily maybe do their job as much as they normally do. If we can be our crash guys, when that shot goes up on the offensive end, if you can be not just a 78% guy or an 81% guy, but if you can find a way to be a 95% guy, that's going to be the difference between us winning and losing games and us trying to compete for a conference championship. And for our guys to really buy into that over the course of the last 8 games, or the games in conference, knowing that those extra possessions, that's the difference between winning and losing. And so just like I said, what can you say? I mean, I wish didn't have to be a one possession game. Thankfully, we made free throws down the stretch. It was great to have the legendary Riley Grabo here, who came over from Monterey, where he's an assistant coach who's doing a hell of a job over there. And you can tell he might be the most loyal Cowboy of them all. For him to have an opportunity to go over to Pebble Beach and watch the final round of the Pebble Beach, and to make his way over to Fresno instead, shows you where his loyalty lies. And so it was good to see him. Hell of a scout by Coach DeWeese on a quick turnaround. Now we got to get ready to roll for a team that's playing as well as anybody in the league right now in Utah State on Tuesday night. And we need that Dome of Doom. That Dome of Doom needs to be rocking and rolling on Tuesday.
Jeff, you have to feel really good for not only Hunter Thompson seeing a few go through, but what a defensive job he did too on Robinson when he was forced in when EK had foul trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I challenged Hunter last night. I mean, I told him, we need him to be better. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I mean, and it's hard sometimes when you come in as a pinch hitter, and to come in and make shots, or come in to impact the game when maybe you're not playing as much as you would like. And but I really got after him. I said, we need you. There's going to be a time, like in the case of tonight, where Graham's going to get in foul trouble, and now you're going to have to step in against one of the best players in the country in Orlando Robinson. And in that time that Hunter came in, you look at tonight, and I'm not a big plus minus guy, but from a plus minus standpoint, I mean, he was our best plus minus guy on the night. And so it was good for him to see the ball go in, but also too, just for him to make an impact on winning. And I thought all those guys, especially those guys that don't have the ball in their hands, and the way our offense is, I mean, Graham Ike and Hunter Maldonado are going to have the ball in their hands 95% of the game. And those guys, they got to do their job and be ready to space the floor, be ready to play off of their post ups, and be ready to knock down shots. Or once that shot goes up, have the effort to run from 20 feet into the basket to where you can get offensive rebounds. And that effort to go, knowing that you're not going to get it maybe except 2 or 3 times a game, but those 2 or 3 times add up over the long run, and that's where winning lies.
Jeff, you mentioned the other night that it would be nice to have an easy win instead of one that requires the blood medication. But you were up 9 with 3 minutes left, and then Hill goes crazy a little bit with the threes, and you foul a 3-shooter. Just what was kind of going through your mind in the last seconds there?
We've been in that situation time and time again, and that's the way this league is. I mean, the margins are really, really thin, and luckily, I mean, there was a couple of those threes that Hill hit. I mean, late second shot clock that was really deep. The other one, he heard about it, shouldn't have lost them. But and then the 3-point shooter. I mean, I'll have to go back and watch that on film. But regardless of that, I mean, our guys, just like we have all year long, I mean, they didn't, they responded the right way. I mean, it wasn't, pointing a finger or it was just, all right, next play. And we made those plays down the stretch.
Coach, the last 6 games, you're 5-1, but they've all been those type of games where it's the last minute or so. So how much of a growth is that of your team to see them be able to handle those situations consistently?
Well, I mean, that's why we play the non-conference schedule that we did. And now, you wish you could be Gonzaga every now and then and be up 30 with about 4 minutes left and take a sigh of relief. But that's not the Mountain West. And from top to bottom, I mean, it's there's not a lot of difference between teams. And we know that. And we know that our preparation, our mentality has to be our separator. And to have the stretch of games that we've had, I mean, going back to Friday at Air Force to turn around and play Tuesday, Thursday, or whatever it was, Friday. I know the days are all one and the same right now, but then to come back and play on Sunday, you can use that as an excuse where, oh God, we got to play another game, and we're tired. And that's what the teams that lose, that's the teams that lose, and those are the teams that are not going to win conference championships, are going to make those excuses. And so our guys, I mean, they're really dialed in. They're together, and you see that togetherness. And, when those games get down to the wire, I mean, they know where the ball needs to go. I mean, down the stretch, those guys felt like with, the matchup that Maldo had, as opposed to maybe going to Graham. But that's also Graham saying, hey, that's where the matchup lies. Let's go after that. So, when you have guys talking like that, I mean, that's how you win games.
Jeff, you mentioned Utah State. I mean, there is no rest in this conference. Like you mentioned, you had one of the greatest weeks in Wyoming history, and now you face the hottest team in the league. Just how much different do you think they're going to be than they were the last time you saw them, just with the role they're on now and the confidence they have?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the way they've been playing here lately, I mean, they're playing at a high level. Changed their lineup a little bit from the last time we played them. Rylan Jones, who's a good player, got a concussion, and then he's coming off the bench now. They got Barstow in his place, and they didn't have Idle Rock when we had played them, which, when we played them, I mean, that was coming off a 21-day, basically had between games. We hadn't practiced. The only time we practiced as a team was the Friday leading up to it. So, we were fortunate to go in there and find a way to get a win. So we know that, they're hard to guard. On a quick turnaround, and the way Coach Odom has them playing offensively, just the freedom, and they're a team that's not really about, it's not about plays. I mean, it's just, as we knew the first time, it's more about concepts, and can you sit down and guard and make guys miss. But thankfully we got a charter back to Laramie tonight, and hopefully just get some rest and recovery, and on a quick turnaround, figure out a way to stop them.
Coach, with the week you guys have had, and the momentum you're building, more people are talking about you guys nationally. I mean, how cool is it for you to just get that momentum going, as the season goes along, and sort of put yourself in a conversation with some of the better teams in the country?
Well, I mean, it shows just the hard work that, everyone in the entire program has made, and the sacrifices that guys have made. I mean, my coaching staff, my support staff, I mean, we got everybody rowing in the same direction. We got everybody, and we got guys that believe. And, a couple, about 9 months ago with some of the things that were going on, I mean, I'm not sure, people on the outside thought that, maybe, what's going on, and these guys aren't going to be as good, when deep down, I mean, those guys in the locker room, the people around that are really in the program on a day-to-day basis, I mean, we knew we had a chance to be a really good team. And when you have a group of guys that are all bought in, that have high character, that are really smart, and truly care about one another, and then you can do special things. And to be 19-3, I mean, that's a credit to those guys that go out and practice every day, and they don't give days off. They're not allowed days off, but they want to be coached. And there's a lot of guys out there that don't want to be coached, and guys that want to take days off. But thankfully for us, I mean, we just know we have to continue to get better and try to avoid, even though the noise is nice, and considering the fact of where things have been, and to be able to, be mentioned, and for Wyoming to be, cast in that type of light, that only allows the program to grow. But at the end of the day, I mean, we just got to continue to take it one day at a time, and just continue to find ways to get a little bit better. Because I mean, it's a fine line in this league between everybody. And hopefully over the course of the next, 5 weeks, I think is what's left before Selection Sunday, we can keep finding ways to get better, and hopefully have a chance to be there.
Jeff, compared to this time a year ago, where is this team as far as being that player-led team that you're looking for? How much different is it now compared to last year at this time?
Well, I mean, last year, just being in Fresno last year around this time, where you got tents outside, and you're eating Denny's outside, and you're eating out of boxes. I mean, thankfully there's more sense of normalcy. But in last year was hard. I mean, because you really couldn't practice. I mean, it was just survival. But now, since June 1, when we started up our summer conditioning and our summer camp, I mean, these guys are dialed in. And when you have high character kids, and I say that because they're all high character kids, and there's a lot of programs that don't have high character kids. And when you can just put together day after day after day after day, and you got guys that just, they understand the discipline and effort that's required, the energy that's required to win games. And thankfully they allow us to coach us, and that's why we're in the position we're in, is because they let us coach them. And when you allow us to coach you, and there's days where they don't like to hear what I have to say, but they know it's coming from a place that's going to allow us to be better and win games. And when you have guys that are all bought in like that, you can do special things. And so just got to keep moving on to the next one. We'll be able to enjoy this for about, whatever, until we get to Laramie, and then got to wake up. These guys still got to go to class. I mean, got Monday tomorrow. It's not like, they can just sit around, and they're not LeBron James, they're not Kevin Durant, where you can sleep in and, have somebody give you a massage and get ready to roll for the next one. I mean, these guys, the schedule's nuts. And, but there's no excuses. I mean, everybody else is doing the same thing, and just got to find ways to win the next one.